Hi everybody. Welcome back to
Oh,
B3 Policy. I'm here with Daisy. She was one of my previous episodes, also talking about social media. So we're here to do another, little social media session. How are you
yes.
doing, Daisy?
I'm doing great. I'm already digging through your social media, so I'm
I
excited
know
for you to
you.
show me all your analytics, and thank you so much for having me again.
No problem. Yeah, you like automatically got to work and like, dang you. She's
Yes, my
already
bad. I'm
like.
sorry. I'm supposed to wait. Sorry.
She's already
I
picking on like
apologize.
all the best posts, the worst posts.
Mm-hmm.
But that just shows that you're good at your job, though. So,
I like what I do. It's a good
yeah.
thing.
Okay, so the purpose of this episode, like I said, is a social media session. We're kind of gonna do an audit of how my podcast profile has been doing. I
Yes.
think I've been running like December, January, February, March, April, May. So we're like around
6.
5 months or six, yeah, that I've been having this profile or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna like kind of talk about that and just to get it started. So my social media goals, before I even knew about social media, was just to get eyes on my podcast. But
Mm-hmm.
now that I've been like, learning more about social media after the first time that you told me things like you should be doing this or doing that, like I think my purpose now is to, yes, focus on the content, but also find ways so that I, cause like I think I have awareness, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't get followers. So that's where my issue is right now. So my goal right now is to like get those people who are seeing my stuff to also follow.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's the disconnect that's happening. And the social media places that I'm mostly focusing on are Instagram mainly. Like I took my focus away from TikTok, mainly
I
because
noticed it was giving you a hard time. Yeah.
yeah, because my videos would be like flagged for some reason. Like it would say like I was doing a commercial or something, and I'm like it's nothing like it's a
You're
post,
like, no,
and
I'm
then
not.
yeah, and then I would like contact support and everything, and nothing got solved. Like
Yeah.
so that was really frustrating, and also with everything that's happening, like what if TikTok gets banned, and like
Yeah.
it's all for nothing. So yeah, TikTok. I mean, Instagram has been my go-to, which is good because you taught me a lot the previous time we talked.
Yeah.
So, um,
What
yeah. So
about,
Instagram.
have
hmm
you considered YouTube? YouTube Shorts?
I do have a few YouTube Shorts videos out there with the people that I used to do the podcast with,
Mm-hmm.
but I have not posted anything recent. And I think YouTube Shorts would do well because one of the videos that I put over there got like 800 views, and that same video on Instagram got like not even like 100 and something. So
Okay.
I'm like, maybe YouTube Shorts would help me grow and then that platform. But I just been putting all my efforts in Instagram
Onto
because
Instagram?
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's been a lot of work to even
I
get
bet,
those.
yes.
Yeah.
But so whenever you do posting, how do you
hmm
do it? Like, do you post the day up? Do you schedule any of them? How do you do it?
So the way that I've been doing it is like, I'll record an episode,
Mm-hmm.
a podcast episode. I'll publish the YouTube version as soon as possible. So like maybe the next day, I'll publish the
Okay.
YouTube right away, and then I'll promote the YouTube on my Instagram. So let's say like I published it on a Saturday, and then by Sunday or Monday, I'm already promoting that video on Instagram. But the way that I've been doing it is, once I start promoting clips, I do it like maybe once every day. I try to do once every day. So I'll promote like one clip of that video that I published on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put one clip on Monday and then another one on Tuesday. And then like I try to stick to that.
So
Like at
like
least
every other
once,
day?
yeah, at least every day or every other day.
Okay.
I will confess though, like this past week, I was pretty busy with life. You know how it gets.
Yeah.
So I posted. I didn't post as much like Wednesday or Thursday, and then on Friday, I posted like 3 videos at the same time.
And what did you
So
see that do to your analytics? Did you see any changes?
so one of my, I think it didn't affect me negatively, because
Mm-hmm.
like, let me see.
I
So like, yeah,
wouldn't
like,
think that it would, but I'm like interested in seeing what it did because
mhm.
since you pretty much did like obviously two different things, if you performed better that week, then you might want to consider doing that instead. Posting everything all at once on one day, which usually I wouldn't
Oh,
recommend, but I mean if your analytics are showing otherwise, then it might be something that you should explore.
yeah. So I think, I mean, it may be a good idea to do that, but I guess I'll show you. Like I posted three posts. Two of them were of the same thing about the episode with Talia about the pregnancy and everything, and then I posted a third video with Jesus. So I was just trying to like promote more of those episodes because I didn't record that week. So
What's your name on YouTube?
it's the same. B3 Policy. I did the one with Talia, no, two with Talia, and then one with the Jesus episode. And the one with Jesus did really well, while the ones with Talia didn't hit 200 views, which I've made it my average. Like if I hit 200 views, I feel like it got where it was supposed to get with the
Okay.
amount of awareness that I have. So I don't remember exactly at what time I posted them. So I feel like I need to pay attention to that, and I'm gonna take your advice on whatever whatever you
Yeah.
say. But like as you can see, like I got 700, 14 views on the Jesus episodes, and then 160 and 133 on the other two. So that's what happened with those.
If you look at another one of Jesus's posts, it shows that you have 91 views. So I
Oh,
wouldn't
okay, yeah.
necessarily put it on like each or the other. It could have also been the time that you posted. So that's why it's good to like keep track of when you're posting stuff.
At the time, right?
Yeah, like the times and everything. Because me, sometimes I'll post at 1 and it's like a complete flop. And if I post like around 6 or something, then it'll do better. Honestly, there's not one solidified way to do it. You kind of just have to explore the things that you're doing and see which one
Mm-hmm.
sticks. And once you find something that sticks, then you want to obviously stick to that and pretty much like go modifying as the days go by. So I think it'll be like really important to actually go into your analytics and see what's performing best. Because once you have that, let's say you post something on a at a time frame that is your usual, but it doesn't do good.
Yeah.
Then you want to look at the topics you're talking about too. And with all the videos that are doing good now, you want to see the topics that you're covering as well, because obviously that's something that caught people's attention.
Yeah.
So you really just want to, like, you kind of have to look at everything, really. There's one that has 271, the one with you and your sister.
If we look at my insights, so from the past 30 days, I've reached 3,294 accounts. Basically, all of them are non-followers. So, like the
Okay.
best performing video though was the one where I have food. So, like you said, I think food does well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1.2 thousand views on that. Like that's the most views on all of my videos.
On all your videos.
Mm-hmm.
And you do post about food on your stories, so that's something that you're like into.
Yeah.
Not saying that you have to become like a food person, but if you gave me your login information so I can go in there.
All right. I have a problem like remembering my passwords.
That's everyone's problem.
But yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see your screen now.
So yeah, see, like this is the most accounts that I've ever reached.
Zoom out a little bit.
3,294, which is like, remember when we first started, I would only reach like 200 or something, 300 accounts. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been high reach. My best post was the 1.2 K, which was with the burger place, and the one with Jesus. It says 377 here, but in reality, it already hit 700 views, which is like it happened in like from one day to another. So that's what I'm thinking. Like people like funny stuff because that one was
Yeah.
pretty funny, and
It's
and the
relatable.
yeah,
Like as
and
parents, it's relatable.
and the other ones are just like the giveaways that I had made, but nobody participated. Only you. So I just can't.
Dude,
I
no,
went ahead and
don't worry. Like there's been like really big accounts that I would manage,
yeah.
and they don't perform as well as they don't always perform well. I'll tell you that, so
Yeah.
don't feel bad about it. That's fine. What about the
Uh,
211 one?
well, this one was just about my dog that we had to have euthanized. So yeah, it was pretty sad. But I just wanted to share that because I mean it was a pretty sad. Let me show you also my worst performing. So let me see how
Yes.
can I do that. These are the insights. So I think I'll just go to my profile. So I think the lowest views would be like, for example, this
Well,
one was
those would
bad.
not be relevant anymore. So, like looking at the ones that with like the previous format that you did your podcast, it's not relevant because
Okay.
no, like you're not focused on that anymore.
I guess the lowest one would be the 89 here. Yeah. So 89 is the lowest right here. And this one was this was one of my episodes. And I did it the same format as I did the one with Jesus, so it might just be the content then.
I'm gonna go look at it. Hold on.
And to
89? It was a mental health one?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like this one did bad when it was a mental health one.
There it is. Okay. So it's mental health month.
Yeah.
So you need to use the hashtag mental health month. Mental health awareness. Stuff like that. So the hashtags that you have are good. But again, I don't remember if I mentioned to you before. You don't want to use hashtags that are below like 500K. If they're like at 1 million, then that's what you want to use. That would have been a good. I don't know if you've noticed in like other like there's videos that I've seen. So they'll take like the one that you just said that to me is like the most relatable is like especially people that don't have kids, they always got something to say. That would be a good clip for you to remove. Well, not remove, but like have it at the very beginning of your video. And then after that, you put it in, like you put the rest of the video, which is what you have now. But yeah, so it'll be a better hook, you know? So if I hear that as a parent, I'm like, hell yeah, like, dude, people do be having too much to say when they don't even have kids. And then if I don't have kids, I'm like, well, nobody told you to have kids anyway, so it kind of makes you want to watch it either way.
Yeah.
But the point is to have a hook that's gonna like entice people to have something to say, whether it's good or bad. Like that's different, but even then, no publicity is bad publicity, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I would recommend. Like instead of just starting off randomly, because I know what you're talking about because I follow you and I know what kind of person you are because I've known you for like over 10 years now. But other people don't, so why am I looking at your video to begin with? Like what about your video is relatable to me that makes me want to keep watching it?
Yeah.
So for me, one of the things that I see whenever I first went in here and I saw the title of your, like the one video that shows up, it says Symphony of Crying. That's hilarious. Like it's true because sometimes all the tears are just flowing from all the kids. And it's relatable, like it's relatable. But yeah, I think that's one thing that I would advise, like with videos moving forward. You definitely want to add like a hook at the beginning. And of course, it's hard because you're taking clips from your podcast. But if you're able to take, like I said, like that meaty part of that is more relatable or like the joke or something like that, you just put it into the video. And then the video is kind of what is going to go in depth of what that first clip was about.
So would you recommend like kind of like doing like a little sneak peek? So like adding that hook.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, because sometimes it's difficult because like let's say I want to get the point across, right? And the hook doesn't happen until like it's over or like something like that. So I'm
Exactly.
like,
So you want to use that Like, use it to your advantage. Hold on, my dad's trying to steal my child.
Um,
That's one thing that I would advise. Because, I mean, the format that you have and everything, it's similar to what other people are doing. Your highlights
yeah.
are good. It's obviously like what you said, your awareness is there. And you're almost at 100 followers. You just need like 3 more. Your
That's
awareness
what
is
I was
there, so you
gonna.
want to build on that retention. Like, why do I
That
want to be here? Yeah.
what I was gonna tell you though. Like, I reached 100 followers like a month ago, and
Uh-huh.
then like I've been losing followers. Okay, so you're saying you're recommending moving the hooks.
To the
Well, not
beginning.
moving. I guess a hook is supposed to be at the beginning. Okay, make a hook. Start with a hook all the time.
I think one of the reasons también is because you have been doing modifications that, you know, like as you're going, you're learning more about what you want your actual podcast to be, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, with that is going to come fluctuations of followers and unfollowers. So you're never going to have, like, you're, it's normal to lose and gain followers at the same, like, you could gain 100 followers and lose 70 of the previous ones that you had. So it'll kind of still be like, you know, uneven.
Yeah.
And until you finally get that, like, your niche in, or people finally start recognizing you a little bit more and stuff, that's when you're kind of going to see more consistency of, like, you going up. But I think the stuff that you've been doing is great. I will tell you, though, there have been times that you, like, post stories and you put the reel on there, like, your reel, you share your reel, and then you put music over it. So I can't hear anything that the
Yeah.
reel says. So I'm just like,
Oh.
personally, like, I would like to be able to hear the reel. I mean, I know the captions are there, but I would like to be able to hear the reel so that I can, you know, get a glimpse of it. Because with the audio, I'm not really
Yeah.
able to get a glimpse of it. It's just music over a reel that I can't listen to.
Okay. Yeah,
But
because I was doing what you had recommended, like having the polls. So
yes,
I've been doing polls, and that's why I put the music, because I'm like, if they want to watch my video, they would have to click on it instead of watching it in the stories. But maybe it is like if they see the story, then they'll click on it to find out more about it, I guess.
yeah.
So
The polls are really good. Like, that's something that I was gonna tell you too. I'm like, the polls are great. I have fun with your polls. Do they perform good? Like, on your end, do people actually interact with it?
yeah, there's some that they do, like
Mm-hmm.
especially the funny ones, like they'll participate in those, and I always share the results at
Mm-hmm.
the end. So yeah, those, yeah, sometimes they won't though. Like whenever I ask more of them, like, you know, sometimes I put the sticker where you ask a question and they have to like write an answer in the box.
Yeah.
Like they won't participate as much on those, but they
Yeah.
will participate on the ones where they just click on the answer choices. So
Yeah.
the polls one works.
So
Yeah.
then you should stick to that. So stick to
Mm-hmm.
those. And unless you really like want some feedback on something, then use a question thing. Otherwise, then I would just like, nah, not really a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do I want to look at? Go to your analytics on the portion that tells you what days and times your followers are most active in.
Might have to do that on my phone because
Because
I
that'll
don't see that
actually
on.
help you también see like what time should you be posting. You might not be able to see it yet because you don't have, that doesn't make sense. Okay, go to your total followers. When you go to your analytics, go to total followers and at the very bottom, right, Daysi.
Oh, that I can I see that until after I have 100
Okay,
followers.
same thing with the gender and age range.
Yeah, it's like the entire thing. It says
Okay.
until I get 100 followers, I
Okay.
can't see anything.
Okay.
Three people follow me right now.
Do it. That's fine. I mean, that kind of gives you an idea of like what you should be posting because you want to target specific audiences. And obviously, you want to target people that are like around your age range and are relatable to you. And so I think that really goes to narrowing down what it is you want to talk about on your podcast. I saw that one of the big things was that you wanted to like focus, like you're an introvert that is making yourself more comfortable by putting yourself in the uncomfortable position of running a podcast, right?
Yeah.
So I think you should really go with it. If that's what you're gonna be like, if that really is what you want to stick to, you need to stick to it, right?
Yeah.
So your bio says overcoming introvertness 1 episode at a time. That's good. Yeah, I mean, if you want to join on an episode, that's fine too. Host is fine too. You're listed in the FW, that's fine too. So I think that your bio right now is good. But when I go in here to your profile, if I'm looking at the videos, I can't say that I'm getting that. You know, I'm getting more like what you had previously wanted, which is, sharing like a little bit of everything. Because that was your bio
Mm-hmm.
before, like a little bit of everything and nothing at once type thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting. So when you start posting now, you're gonna want to actually talk about overcoming introvertness 1 episode at a time. So this
Mm-hmm.
episode I'm talking about X, and this is how it's helping me as an introvert. Or like I'm bringing in Thalia, she is my wife, and she's gonna speak to my introvertedness or something. It's mental health month, so you can really tap into that and really, dive into it and talk about it. You can obviously still be funny, but like you gotta
Mm-hmm.
find topics that fall under that umbrella. And obviously sharing your family stuff, that's perfectly fine. I'm never gonna say no to that because it just shows that you're a person. You're not just somebody that's like a random person on the internet.
Yeah.
So that's great. But apart from that, that's like the advice that I would have for you now that you found what you want to talk about. And then you also have be better with Brandon, which is great. So like if you want to focus on mental health, like it doesn't have to specifically be you talking about you being an introvert all the time. But since that is
Yeah.
your bio right now, and it's something that I feel like you just did recently, you do want to hone in on that and have that be a part of your profile so that when people go in, they're like, okay, I can relate to this guy because I'm also an introvert or
Yeah.
whatever other reason. Yeah, I think that's what I would go with. And then if you're like, you can make just random reels about you, like saying, just talking about yourself in general. Because I mean, this podcast is centered around you.
Yeah.
You can share your life. You can become like literally an influencer for that, for your own podcast. And
So
then your
that's kind
podcast
of
is
what I wanted to ask you because I'm like, okay, it's a podcast profile, so where do I draw the line? Because I'm also posting about food, but I like basically it's like the things that I like to talk about. That's why
yeah.
I'm posting things like that. Yeah. So is it okay for me to like be diversifying it like that, or is it confusing for people who are visiting my
Um,
profile?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I would expect you to expect for there to be some lag in gaining retention because it's not like a product that like this is a shampoo we offer and we're sharing our like deals and all of that stuff and all the hair things on our profile. Like you're a person, you're an
Yeah.
ever evolving person. And even if it was just a podcast, I'm pretty sure not every podcast has remained the same every single time, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so like you're gonna have changes, and right now you're seriously like going in and you're finding your niche and you're figuring out what you're wanting to do for your own podcast and what you want your profile to look like, which is fine. I'm like in the exact same boat. Um,
Uh-huh.
because there's so many avenues that you want to go to, but what I would say is that if you're not networking, if you're not connecting with other influencers that are like in DFW, if you're not doing that, like your only source is the internet. So you're going to really want to narrow down yourself on the internet, on Instagram. And you're going to have to like, so not just put your reels on, like reels that have clips of your podcast. You're gonna want to make an actual reel of you talking and saying like, hey, I'm Brandon, I have a podcast, check it out. I post stuff about like my
Okay.
family It's pretty much all about me, but I'm a 28-year-old introvert, like whatever, like an introduction of yourself to let people know who you are, what you're going to be posting, have an idea of what to expect when you're posting it.
Okay.
Because I don't
Yeah,
see
cause
that now.
yeah, I was gonna tell you. So I ran a poll. My profile specifically, like I asked
Mhm.
people like, what would be better to do, like mom and dad content or stick with millennial content or
Mhm.
things like that. So would you recommend me changing my description? Because like, oh, yeah, it is about me overcoming my introvert. Because basically, like, I would never see me seeing, I mean, like doing this. Like I would never see me doing this at all. So
Yeah.
that's one of my reasons. But I also want to be like the people that I'm interviewing. It's gonna be millennials.
Hmm.
So I'm also including millennial content, and like a lot of millennials right now are like in the dad parent stage. So
Yeah.
that's something that I want to stick with too. So before I did have like overcoming introvertness with millennials one episode at a time, but I
Hmm.
felt like that was too long. So I don't know, maybe I should add it back because I do want to stick with millennial content. I just
Um,
don't want to make it
I would
like
play around with the millennial in there.
yeah.
Um, so millennial connecting with millennials, millennial lifestyle or something like that. Um,
Mhm.
millennial talking about struggle. Like you can like whatever statement you want. I know you know Chat GPT. I would just stick it in there and say like, give me slogans or give me something quirky that would be good
Yeah.
for Instagram, and that kind of like helps you out a little bit more. And if you're looking to change it, I would. If you want to make it longer and you don't have enough space, it's okay if you take off the DFW because you're a
Mhm.
podcast, so it doesn't really matter where you're located. You can listen from anywhere. Um,
Well, okay.
and then if you care for people to know that you're in DFW, then that's something that you can like talk about and showcase on your podcast, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Another thing I was gonna ask you, like you can be honest, like I've been changing the like so at the beginning when I had the guys with me,
Mm-hmm.
the B3 stood for something else, so it was a borderline banter and brews, but
Right.
I didn't waste the username because I mean I basically came up with it, you know. So
Uh-huh.
I changed it to before I had it for like Brandon be better. So like me telling myself be better, but I decided like what if it's just be better with Brandon because I'm talking to people and like also interviewing and seeing what their lives are about and everything. So
Yeah. I really like
do
Be
you
Better
think
with Brendan.
okay yeah
That's really good. Um,
okay
like it was when I saw it, I was like, like it's a good one. Like I like it. Be Better with Brendan.
okay.
That's really good. So I think that's fine.
Um.
If that was your question, I think that's a great thing to do because you can always do a lot of stuff with it. Like I know
Mhm.
that you had Jesus on and he likes both his business, his family. Like you're really showcasing kind of like a tidbit of life from everybody, which
Mhm.
is pretty cool because not everybody runs the same life. And to be able to get an insight that like you're not alone in your journey, or it's okay if you lead a completely different life because you literally are in a completely different life. But to be able to get an inside
Yeah.
look at all these other lives that are being lived by millennials is great because it
Yeah.
just shows that you're not alone in the lifestyle that you're living. Yeah. But I think that just goes to show like what your podcast can become, because I feel like it's always going to be shifting, and if you're going with Be Better,
Mhm.
then that just kind of gave me like another idea where you can be better with your finances, be better parenting, or be better with running your business, and then you talk to like another entrepreneur or something. Be better with your
Yeah.
social media, like that's the session that we're holding right now.
Mhm.
Be better with picking out at places to eat in Dallas. And then
Yeah.
give like a list of options, or like talk to a chef or a server, I don't know, like whatever. But there's a lot of
Yeah.
options for that, and I think that's one of the very important things, to have a content calendar because
Yeah.
you're not just jumping into it, like, okay, this quarter, my goal is to gain 100 followers, and this is how I'm going to do it. And this is the post that I'm going to do, or the podcast that I'm going to be doing to, have that done. And that way you can build anticipation way beforehand, and people know what to expect moving forward. So it's not just me going on social media and there's already a podcast there, or like a podcast clip. But I already knew that this was going to come out because it's been put in my mind by all these different posts or like reels that have been coming out on social media. And you are prepared for that because you have your content calendar. So it's really,
Like,
really important to have your content calendar. You have all these great ideas, all this potential, and you just really need to set pen to paper and say, this is how I'm going to lay it out. This is how I'm going to make it happen. So if you want your 100 followers back, if you want to gain that retention, you have to figure out, how am I going to do it? You make your plan, you execute your plan, and if it doesn't work out, then you obviously shift your plan, but you already have analytics that you're going to be working with to solidify your plans moving forward. Yeah,
that's great.
that's my rant.
You just dropped. You're like, I just dropped a bunch of knowledge. Content calendar has been like, I wanna take it. I've been wanting to take it seriously, but like, to be honest with you, I've been like using the scraps of my leftover time. So like, I'll have an idea, and then like, if I don't do it right there and then, like, I feel like every time I do something is like vomit. Like, I just like gather my idea and then throw it out there. I'm like, okay, if it does good, it does good. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I mean, that's fine, but if you really want to, like, if you really want to build something out of it, if you really want to do good with it, like, you really want to put thought behind it because you wanted to perform well, right? And one thing that I did yesterday, actually, was I did content batching. So you don't have, well, I just got, like, the weirdest cramp on my collarbone. Oh, that was weird. No, so, like, one thing that I did yesterday is content batching. So I literally shot a full month worth of reels for a client in one day, and we somehow managed to do it within 2 hours, less than 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes. That's record breaking. Like, that was great. And so what you can do is, and your podcast run for like 30 minutes, hour type thing. I know it sounds dreadful and it sounds awful, but if you can shoot all your podcasts in 1 week somehow, or in 2 weeks, then that's great, because then you have time to edit and stuff like that moving forward. And you can kind of say, like, okay, this is the reel that I'm going to do. Like, you're better able to plan your stuff out. So if you can content batch it, and then it gives you more free time because you already got these things done and the next month is already prepared for you to do. You know what I mean? And that way you're not like every week, oh, like, I need to do this every single week, But can you hear her? She was like,
she said, everybody subscribe to B3 Policy.
That's exactly what she said.
Go follow Brandon.
Follow Brandon and the podcast. But yeah, I would definitely recommend. And then once you do your content calendar and you have like all your goals aligned, it's just really helpful to actually be able to plan everything out. If you do it weekly, that's fine. But at least Monday, know what video you're going to be taking for Friday. And that way, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're promoting it. You're going to put it on your stories like, hey, don't forget, I'm going to be talking to Daysi about social media. If you guys are interested in social media or want to hear about whatever the fuck, we'll be here. But
so like you as a user, when you saw my profile about Jesus, my post about Jesus, and then Natalia, like does it confuse you? Like, what's happening? Or
no.
Like, do you want me to? Do you think I should stick? Because what I've been doing is I'll post an episode, talk about that episode for the whole week.
Yeah.
And then until I record another episode, I'll talk about that episode the whole week. But like, recently, since I didn't record with anybody last week, I've been just grabbing clips from previous episodes.
That's fine.
So I'm like,
that's fine. But like, based off of what you just said, you already have a strategy that isn't working the way that you want it to work. So
Yeah.
instead of posting a podcast and then doing all the promo for it, you want to do the opposite, because you already noticed that this strategy isn't working the way that you want it to. So you want to shift your strategy to something different. So the different part would be promoting first and then posting your podcast. And then you can obviously still promote about, like, you can promote about any podcast that you want. Like, that's fine. I don't think you're talking about anything that isn't going to be relevant in the now, you know?
Yeah.
Or to anyone. Like, everybody's going to be, well, some people are going to be parents at some point in their life, so that video is going to apply to them at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I would definitely switch up your strategy and see how that ends up working out. I think your videos with Talia are great because she's your freaking wife. Like, being able to see that, like, on video, like, people have profiles where couples are like pranking each other all the time or like talking smack to each other all the time. So I think it's okay to have that, because then it just builds anticipation. Like, we know that Talia's gonna be a person that's gonna be there a lot, and so people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, like, there's Talia, or like, where's Talia been? Like, just growing familiarity with you and Talia.
Because I think a lot of people like Jesus. Because whenever I had Jesus, I gained like 30 followers. Like,
Well, you
I think people that follow him, I think they're like, oh, he participated in the podcast, so I'm gonna follow this guy. You know.
exactly. So what you want to do is to follow people that have that network, or like interview people that have that network that can give you that exposure. So you saw that with Jesus. Look at what Jesus does. Look at how he does it, and kind of like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You know, this is also exposure for Jesus, and you know, it's obviously exposure for you too. And I'm not saying to go be like, estás un interesado, you know, it's just like, but just be more intentional with who you pick on your podcasts, whether it's because of networking or because you genuinely care about the subject you're speaking about and you feel like it's going to be beneficial to your followers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, because I know it looks like advertisements, because I've been basically talking about, like, for example, Jesus' businesses. But that's not what I'm doing it. Like, he didn't pay me to say that. Like, I'm doing it because I feel like he's taking on all these things, and he's a dad, you know, like that. To me, that's impressive. So I'm like, if he helped me get followers, like, why not me help him showcase his, you know, his businesses for people to go. But that I've also been reaching out to people. It's been hard. Like, not a lot of people want to be on a podcast, I guess, because I don't have too many followers too. But like, I've asked people, I'm like, hey, you want to join the podcast? Like, we could talk about your business and we could talk about you or your family. But most people kind of like shy away from it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing really I could do about that.
And because you have video too. But I mean, video is good. Another thing that you can do is take stories. So if you see, like, I know some people go to Reddit and they'll look at stories on Reddit and be like, okay, well, this is like, even on your podcast, there's this podcast that even I follow. It's called Shits and Giggles, and I'll always reference them because I love them.
Yeah, you always tell me.
Yeah. So like, they'll read tweets or they'll read stuff from Reddit and they'll be like, can you believe this happened? Or like, they're just literally cracking up about it. So that's something that you can be talking about. One person that obviously seems to be open to being on your podcast is Talia, which is awesome. So with her, you can look at relationship stuff on Reddit and be like, look, these are 3 stories that I gathered. What do you think about us being in this situation? What feedback do you have for this? But yeah, kind of like look at, if people aren't, you know, wanting to be on podcasts, find a way to maneuver around that to where you're still able to reach the topic that you want to talk about.
Yeah, I like the ideas that you have given me, because I feel like I can do it on my own. Like, that's one of the things that I've been trying to prove to myself. Like, I can do this podcast by my own, because a lot of people are solo. Like, they don't have
and I was going to
interviews
tell
or
you that
anything.
too. I'm like, you don't always need to be interviewing somebody. Like, you can just talk about a certain topic and have, like, that's what podcast is. Like, you sharing your thoughts and, you know, just talking, like having a conversation with someone. So whenever you think about it, también, I would say, like, me as a listener, what about me do I want to hear? Like, if I'm driving in the car or if I'm doing chores around the house and somebody has my podcast on, like, what do I want to be listening to? Like, what's gonna make me laugh? So you want to put yourself in your listener point of view, in your listener's shoes.
Yeah, that's also kind of hard for me because, well, I guess now that I have, like, that you've told me about introvert life and how, like, I can talk about that, but it's been hard for me. Like, I don't think I'm the kind of person to be giving advice or tips, but I have been doing that lately because, like you said, like, the point of, what is the point? You know, what is the point of me even having the podcast? Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling these people, hey, like, do this or do that. Like, I didn't feel like I was in that position, like, because, you know, like, sometimes you listen to business podcasts or you listen to something about, like, what is it called, like, wellness. There's, like, these podcasts where they talk about how to better your life and like healing and, like, things like that, and, like, I don't have expertise in
Sir,
things like
there is a
that, you know.
whole podcast of a man that has a peanut head. I can't. It's a very bad person. Like, he just has like the worst thoughts. Man, I can't. It's a guy, and he, he was like, sorry, he's gonna take this clip and talk smack about me. But no, I
I'm
can't.
leaving all of this in, by the way.
No, I can't remember his name. Pero like, es bien culero. Like, he always talks shit about like women belong in the kitchen, or men aren't men if they have vasectomies, or like just like the dumbest ideas. So like, I mean, there's MAGA lovers. I mean, you put your thoughts out there, like, you share your thoughts, your ideas, someone's going to be attracted to it. You know, you just have to be consistent and like talk. Not everybody's going to be into what you talk about, but it's the same thing with anyone. Like, you're not into every single thing in the world. You know, you can't expect other people to be. And even if you're not an expert, that's fine. Like, you don't need to have a degree in psychology to share your own experiences that are, you know, like, they have value to them. So I wouldn't knock yourself down over you, like, saying that you don't hold value in like the space that you're talking about, because you're a whole living person that has lived your own experiences and has a lot to share on your own. And I'm sure, like, if you sat down and talked to somebody of like, I mean, your grandpa just passed away. That's something that you can sit down and talk about. Like, this is grief. Like, this is what grief looks like to me. You know, like, just dive into what you're going to talk about. Like, this specifically happened in my life, and I want to talk about it. So talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just go on a rant.
Yeah. I think that's what I started doing, just ranting about things in life. I was going to tell you, like, whenever I move to video, I've gotten less listeners on audio. So, like,
no way.
Yeah, I feel like since people are now watching like clips, like, there's no point of listening. And I've noticed, like, I guess I can say her name because she followed me back. So, like, your friend Kimberly, she'll talk a little bit about her podcast episode, and then I guess she'll leave it, like, so that you go listen to it. So, like, that's the thing. Like, it's hard for me to do because I feel like I don't have as much followers. So what I'm trying to do is, like, okay, hook and then my video, but I basically give it all away. Like, there's no like cliffhanger. Like, there's like, you get everything you're gonna get from watching my clip, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
then you want to have a cliffhanger. Mess around with that. Do like, definitely mess around with that, and like play with it to where, you know, you have your hook in the front, and then you have like a body, and then also play with, you know, the hook, like just giving like a little sneak peek, or having the hook and then no body to it. Like, look at the different things that people are doing, write it down, put it into your content calendar, your social media strategy, and say, okay, I tried this month, or I tried this for 2 weeks, this is how it performed. Now I'm going to try this for another 2 weeks and see how it performs. And then just based off of that, see how they do. And then another thing that you can do is say, okay, well, first I'm gonna put 2 videos out at the same time of the day, use the same caption, the same everything, except the video is different. So you'll have the hook, and then you'll have your body, and then you'll do what Kimberly does, where she just gives you like a little piece of something. Sorry, my pets are playing. And then see which one performs best, and then based off of that's like pretty much A/B testing, and pretty much based off of that, build your social strategy off of that.
Oh, okay. You know what you should do? You should sell content calendars.
I have that.
On
I can send it to
Etsy.
you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because
Just send me your email so I can send it over.
Okay.
It's really
Yeah, I
easy to
don't
modify.
have anything like that. Like I'm literally telling you, like my time to work on the podcast is maybe like the weekend or like after I get off of work, but I literally gather whatever I can and
That,
just
and you
like,
have 2
okay,
kids, so
yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised you do all that you do already. And that's another thing that you can talk about. Like, there's so many things that you can talk about, Brandon. Like, you just need to
Yeah.
write them down and start like tachándolos. Like, write them down and
Like
get them done.
schedule it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice that I need to follow. Well, yeah, I guess so we can recap for whoever was watching and listening. So I need to modify like my description because I'm talking about like I want to be millennial content as well as introvert. So
Yeah.
kind of like make a fusion of those things. I also need to work on the times that I post. You know, play around with my schedule, make a content calendar. The biggest advice that you have said. And then I also need to I guess I need to stop thinking like nobody take my advice. Like I'm just
Yes.
I'm gonna say what I need to
Redirect
say.
your thought.
Yeah.
Have
But
confidence in yourself.
yeah, that's one of the messages that I'm trying to say. Like anytime that somebody tells me like I'm just trying to be on the episode, I'm like I'm literally more nervous than you. Like doing I'm interviewing you, but I'm more nervous than you guys are. Like I'm not too nervous with you because I already know you like for a long time. But
Yeah.
like when I did Jesus' episode, I'm like, yeah, I haven't talked to you like in like 5 years.
Ever.
Yeah. but then he was like really like he was like a really cool guest. Like he really
Yeah.
made the conversation and everything. So yeah, everybody was like that episode was so genuine and everything. So I'm like, yeah, that was good. I also need to work on making the hooks and adding a cliffhanger. So yeah,
Yes.
those are the
And your
recaps.
hashtags. You're talking about mental health, but there's no mental health awareness hashtag on there. It's literally mental health awareness month.
I thought mental health was enough, but I guess that one doesn't have as much as views as the other one.
Yeah. Like me, one of my last videos that I posted, I did like single mom stuff, and it did pretty good. So I'm like, I guess people want to see single mom stuff. Oh, y también your covers.
Like make actual covers.
You don't have to, but at least get a clip that, like for example, the third video that you have, it says, yeah, definitely the mental. Or then the next one says to give birth to the vampire.
So like make it make sense, basically.
Huh?
Like make it something that people want to click on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like Symphony of Crying. That still has to do with the episode, you know, or like what the video's about.
Yeah.
Like the one with your little puppy right here.
Okay.
You can put like losing a pet, or what it's like losing a pet, or it sucks losing a pet.
Okay.
One says down the birth canal. That's funny.
Yeah, that was the pregnancy episode.
This one's funny. It says because qué casualidad, and then there's like a picture of Katy Perry. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't really see it, but it's funny.
Yeah, I have it pulled up. I know what
I
you're
like
talking about.
I like the whenever you put like the gifs in, that's funny as hell.
Oh, you like the gifts?
Yeah.
That takes a little bit more effort than just publishing the actual. Because like I have to take the clip to somewhere else and then add the gifs. I mean, I'm willing to do it if it's entertaining. But
I like.
Yeah, I'll take the advice that you're giving today. I appreciate you getting on. I think I'm gonna have to end the episode soon, but
that's fine.
Thanks for getting, all this advice. I know you charge people for this, so if you guys wanna get your social media audited,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, don't forget to send me your email so that I can send you the calendar that I have.
If anybody wants to reach out to Daisy for any content,
yes.
What is it called?
Any social media related stuff. I got you.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you, Daisy, again, and whoever
Of
was
course.
listening, or in the audience. Hopefully, you gained something from this.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.